Hey everybody. Sorry I'm not in class today. Thank you for your patience. I've got an assignment for us to be working on today um, during class to review some rhythm as well as learn some things about pitch. When I'm back Wednesday, we'll kind of review some of this and we'll also dive into the trumpet. So thank you for your patience, and I hope that you can learn some stuff and get some good review while I'm out today. All right, so what you're going to do, I'm going to walk you through this, so please kind of follow along. Click on Schoology. If you're watching this video, you've already located the class. We're in Intro to Band, and we're in the subfolder. All right, in the subfolder, there is an assignment called Rhythm Pitch Subplan Assignment. All right, and you're going to click View Attachment, open that PDF, and what you're going to do is send this PDF over to Notability. Import, and we can go ahead and open that together. All right, so this is a kind of a long PDF. Just take your time working through it. Some of it will go fast, some of it will take you some time, but it's 7 pages. The first 4 have to do with rhythm, note values, quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, rests, etc. And then the last 3 are, I'm scrolling down here, the last 3 pages are introducing this new idea called the treble clef. I'll take a few moments to kind of explain what this is and how to complete those assignments after kind of showing you some of the rhythm stuff. All right, but this should take you, 30 minutes for sure. If you're more familiar with music theory, it might go a little faster, but take your time. Use Mr. Braun as a resource to help you out. The whole worksheet is due by the end of class. All right, so rhythm exercises. There are 4 of them. The first 2 pages are called rhythmic equations. All right, and so what you'll do, if you look at some of these examples, you'll see maybe a half note and a quarter note, and this is your way of remembering and applying note values. So if you know a half note is 2 beats and a quarter rest is 1 beat, then that equals 3. Okay, just like that. You do not need to show your work, but it can help for some of us. But all I'm looking for is correct answers at the end there. All right, you don't need to circle it. Just answer the equation and keep moving. Rhythmic equations, number 1 is also here. That's on page 2. I don't know why that got switched up, but do the math, add up the values. Should go pretty quickly for you. All right, the next 2 have to do with writing in bar lines. So it says draw the bar lines in the correct places. Remember to put a double bar line at the end. So a double bar line looks like this. That just tells us that it's the end of the music. We haven't talked about that too much, but kind of easy to just add in there. So in this case, you'll notice, let's look at this first line of music here. We've got quarter notes, half notes, but we don't have any bar lines that show us where the measures are. And so what you're going to be asked to do is add up all of the notes and find out the appropriate places to put the measures. So what I'll do here is we'll kind of walk you through this together. So I look here and I see that I've got 4 beats in a measure because of the time signature. What I'm going to do is go through and kind of go through my rhythm counts here. And that's where my first bar line is, right when you get to the end of beat 4. Then we start the next measure. 1, 2, 3, dash. That's another bar. 1, dash, 3, 4. Another bar, etc., etc. So this one would have 4 measures. All right. Really, really important that you check the time signature. That will change how many beats can fit in the measure. The top number, remember, tells you how many beats are in each measure. All right, so you'll do this for 2 exercises, just drawing in the bar lines. You do not need to put in your rhythm counts, although I would recommend that it can be very helpful if you are kind of stuck. All right, you're just asked to put in the measure lines, the bar lines, I should say. All right, I'll go quickly here. 3 exercises here, three worksheets. This first one introduces the notes of the treble clef. All right, some of us may know a little bit about this, but just briefly, in music, we use something called a staff to plot the notes that we play. Low notes sit at the bottom of the staff. High notes are towards the top of the staff. All right. We use a musical alphabet to label the notes, and that alphabet only has 7 letters: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. After G, it repeats again, etc., etc. Okay, so on this staff, we have something called a clef. All right, it's this kind of curly Q. We've all seen this before. It's called a treble clef. These notes refer to notes that have a high pitch. All right, and so the first exercise just gives you practice drawing your treble clef. So go through the process, read the directions, practice drawing the treble clef, tracing, then draw 5 more in the remaining spaces. Okay? Then if we go on here, you're going to see draw the treble clef. Oops. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to see notes, and you have to come up with the letters of those notes. And you might be thinking, well, how do I figure this out? Do I just always have to come back to this graph right here? You can do that. That's kind of going to take you a long time, so I'm going to teach you a quick trick here. Okay? In music, we have notes that happen to line up on the line of our staff. I'm going to highlight those in green. Notice, I'm going to zoom in, that has a line cutting right through the middle of the note. That's a line note. You may have heard this phrase before, but the letters that go with the line notes are E, G, B, D, and F. Or, every good boy deserves fudge. So the way this works is if you look at a note, let's say we're back here on number 2, and we say, oh, that's got a line going through it. It's one of our line notes. Every good boy deserves fudge. That's the note F. Again, you could come back up here and match it up and say, oh, it's the top line. Oh, that's an F. Great, write it in. But if it's a line note, you can always remember, every good boy deserves fudge. Okay, let's go on to the second one. Oh, this note is not on a line. It's between 2 lines. So we would call that a space note. All right. For a space notes, if we come back up here, you'll notice, I'll highlight them in purple. There are 4 of them, and they fit in between each of our letters here. Those spell F, A, C, and E. So if I'm looking here at this note here on the 3rd space, I would say F, A, C. Oh, that's a C. Okay. One last thing, just to point out, I mentioned that the staff, or the notes on the staff, go up kind of in an alphabetical order. I'll just kind of draw your attention to that. Okay, I'm going to clear this. If you look at the letters, you'll notice that they do go alphabetical. E, F, G. And like I said, when we get to G, we restart back to A. A, B, C, D, E, F. And if we kept going, it would be G. And if we kept going in this direction, we would be D, C, B, A, etc., etc. Okay? So that's kind of how pitch works. And we'll play around with pitch, especially as we get onto our instruments a little bit more. Okay, so follow directions here on this worksheet. Really kind of learn about the notes that are on lines and spaces. Get as good as you can so that you can actually have fun with these last 2 worksheets. All right, for these last 2 worksheets, you're going to use your knowledge of pitch and the names of the notes to spell musical words. All right, so let's do number 1 together. We're in the treble clef. We have a note that's on the 3rd line. We'll use every good boy deserves fudge for lines. Every good boy. That's a B. Next letter. This is a space note. F, A. Oh, that's an A. So the third letter is another line note. E, every, good, so that's a G. So this first one spells the word bag. Okay? So as you're going, if you come across one and you're like, let's say this is a C, let's say you guess that's a B, and that's a, I don't know, D or something like that. If you look at it and you're like, that's not a word, you made a mistake somewhere. Every one of these will be a recognizable word. All right, they're short letters, 3 letters, 4 letters max. So there are 18 of those, and that's good practice for our last one, which has a little bit longer of letters, longer words, and you'll go through and do the same process for the final page. When you're all done, you'll upload your PDF with all of your work into Schoology to that assignment, press submit, and I'd expect for all of your work to be submitted by the end of class. All right. Again, if you have questions, but thank you for your hard work, and I will see you guys